Alrighty, boys, we are live, and I'm good to go whenever y'all are. Is your sheet set, Adriel?
I mean, it's at the best it can be.
Good shit. I'm ready when you are, Chris.
All right, I'm ready. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and start with you, Brawl. Brawl of the Black Hand, the shadows of the church and Bane in Molemaster has sorry, cough. Have long whispered of the tenets of Bane, those elusive platinum discs. With the servants of Strife vanquished, the Moonsea no longer trembles at their might. Yet, as the sultry days of summer begin to wane, an urgent missive finds its way into your hands. It bears the seal of a faction deeply invested in the security of these lands, urging you to rendezvous with the esteemed princess Milana Homwell in the city of Thentia. You're told that you will receive more details on your mission in the head inquisitor's office of the Church of Bane. You stride through the dimly lit corridors of the church, the weight of your armor echoing with every step. A soft, cold breeze seems to trace your path, making the candles lining the walls flicker. Without warning, a door to your left creaks open, revealing the office of the head inquisitor of the Church of Molemaster, Vorin Malsh. As you step in, your eyes are immediately drawn to the raven-haired elf sitting behind a ground desk. The inverted symbol clad God, my face. Clad in silver of Talos, hanging from her neck, glints eerily in the dim light. Dried blood on it, a testament to its dark history. She raises her eyes to meet yours, yet her expression remains inscrutable. Sit, she commands in an uninterested, monotonous drone. The weight of the room presses down you, and you sense that this meeting is of grave importance.
I do not meet the eyes of this heretic. I look instead to the High Inquisitor, and I say, does this...
Oh, sorry, Adriel's not with you at this point.
Right, did you say that the High Inquisitor here was a Talos worshipper, or are there two separate NPCs here?
No, the High Inquisitor is not a Talos worshipper. This symbol of Talos has been inverted and desecrated with the blood of what you could assume to be the priestess of the neck it was ripped off of.
Brol, in that case, Brol looks toward the symbol with a sense of satisfaction and says, the enemies of law have suffered. What do you require of me?
She nods and she says, and the enemies of order still have yet to suffer. Read the dossier as she hands you a parchment containing what appears to be a long list of names.
Seeing the list of names, I scan them over, saying, criminals consigned to execution, or something more.
He nods. You could say that. Heretics consigned to crucifixion, all of them servants of strife. This one here, she points up to the second name on the list. He carried the first tenet of Bane, which you have recovered. The second is in my possession, as she points to a name farther down the list. The third, she gestures to the whole list, none of the names crossed out. Still elusive. However, I have just received another important sending. As I check my notes. You will be heading to Thentia to meet one of our contacts, the priestess Milana Hotwell, as well as a mercenary who has recovered the third of these discs. His name is Adriel. Have you any questions?
I remember the one-armed warrior well. As for Adriel, I have heard tales of his puissance, some minor successes around Neverwinter. I look forward to seeing his mettle truly tested.
She doesn't regard you at all, does not make another vocalization. She simply turns around in her chair, going back to her work as she pores over the piles of paper and the hanging effigies that you would know to be simple rosaries of Bane.
May I make an
Not rosaries,
investigation?
but
May I make a quick investigation check as I attempt to scan the papers upon the desk for any information that's been concealed from me?
certainly. Feel free to give me an investigation check.
It's a natural one.
With a natural one, you look upon them, and you're not even sure if these are related to your mission. These appear to be simple criminal consignments, simple notes of rotes to be handed out at church masses, other things like that. These do not even appear to be part of your mission in the first place. It seems that your head inquisitor has already moved on in search of her next job.
A name is more than enough. The tyrant's will is my own. Oh, sorry.
I presume with that you depart from the Church of Maine in order to fulfill your God's will.
The call has been given. I will answer.
All right. With that, we look miles over the moon sea to the town of Thentia. Adriel, what would you be doing at this point in the night? Your newly recovered disc, shining obsidian that you stole from the cultists of Bane who wanted to sacrifice that poor innocent girl, and had taken a significant portion of the treasure from the hills within, some of which you now keep in your coin purse, and has paid for you for quite a few drinks.
The first thing Adriel do, sitting, holding onto this disc, a little more investigatory about how close this brings me to how all of them are connected, not knowing quite where this takes me. Cleaning the disc, like he's polishing, trying to understand if this will bring me any closer to some of the issues I've had with Bane in the most recent days.
You feel the disc. It feels like it pulls you in your dreams, like it commands you, though you can't hear the words it utters. You feel like it has a grasp on your mind, yet it remains your own, and so does the tablets, resting in your purse or resting in your hands as you examine it. Where would you be at this point? Would you be in a tavern? Would you be in an inn? Would you perhaps be perusing the markets?
To be honest with you, Adriel's always found himself most comfortable at a blacksmith. Something that has this kind of magical power that can kind of even shake the will of my belief in Ilmater. I would want to know where it comes from. If it's a metal that even somebody nearby may understand, trying to figure out what kind of item so small wields so much psychic control over somebody.
All right. As you sit, still waiting for the blacksmith to regard you, you hear the sound of the hammer rhythmically clanking against the anvil. The half-dwarven smith, one Wolfgar, who does not regard you with his last name, approaches as he examines the disc for himself, handing it back to you with a bit of a shake in his hands as he says, if I could tell you more, I would, but that thing is unnatural, and I can't use it to make any sort of blade, if that's what you were wondering, and I don't even think I would be able to crack it, but I think that if you wanted more details upon this, you should speak to an acolyte of Savras.
Nodding, hoping to find, like I said, something about the metal, where it's from, maybe where it's going to take me. I will ask the blacksmith, have you any knowledge of someone who happens to be an acolyte of Sabras?
He gives it a check, or he gives it a think, and I'll have him roll a history check. The Temple District might be your best bet. I don't know if they have a shrine to Savras there, but they do have a shrine to Lathander. They have a shrine to all the other gods that are worshipped within these lands. It might be your best shot.
I will nod, tucking it kind of in a satchel on my hip, knowing that I don't even want this to sit on my back. If somebody's going to take it, they're going to almost have to take it out of my hands as they hold it. Thanking the blacksmith, kind of nod my head and take leave to the Temple District.
He nods, grabbing the green armband that almost all Thentian citizens have around their left arm, which you would know to be essentially the equivalent of a voting party, as they signify what political party that the Thentians worship, or not worship, but follow, as this whole city seems to have some sort of caste system, where the people who vote for one ideology or one person or another are physically separated from each other, and almost like the opposite of gerrymandering, the whole city is divided so that you can almost never see two people standing next to each other with the same color armband. As you begin to depart from this room, go ahead and describe yourself to Brol as the clink of the bell motions in another figure.
Adriel, tall, silvered skin of an Asamar, eyes with no pupils, just a topaz glow. Tall, you'd find him over 6'4", 6'5". His armor, dwarven filigree, silver, but all of the raised hammerings have almost gold flake attached to them. It was made of care. A glaive sits at his hip, but not too fast to grab at it, just kind of standing. Usually for most, his size is imposing enough.
Very good. Brawl, that is what you see as the clink of the bell welcomes you into the blacksmith's forge. Go ahead and describe yourself for Adriel.
Brol is a dark, gray-skinned half-orc, very rough but feminine features, dressed in battle-scarred Mulemaster steel and the single black gauntlet of Bane worn openly, which flexes spasmodically upon occasion. Long black dreadlocks and cropped ears that betray just a hint of elvish heritage. You can see the shrunken heads of church convicts which swing freely from their belt. As Brol enters, they lean upon a black iron battlestaff and surveys Adriel with reserve. This is a face I've seen before. I enter, and I approach.
So I'm assuming here this is where Adriel will nod, having tucked away his disc of Bane, kind of sorting himself in a town he's not too familiar with, getting ready to see the Temple District. This orc imposing in front of him, Adriel making eye contact, as he does with most everybody, looking at him, giving him a respectful nod, kind of clearing space for him.
Brol seats themselves at the table, looks toward you, and says, Dawnforger, I did not think that we would meet under such auspicious circumstances. Do you understand the fate that we are both invested in? Or shall I elucidate you?
Taking an uncomfortable, deep breath, Adriel responds, I tend to fight things that sit close to my nose, not far out of sight. So any information you have that would get me a step further among these discs, I'm more than willing to onboard.
I look toward him, and I say, do you know the nature of the curse that you carry with you? The tenets of Bane are the tyrant's malice, will to dominate, and hatred made manifest. They are not artifacts that should be held by those who walk the path that you have chosen.
Adriel, hearing the seriousness of the path, nods and in kind of a calm acceptance goes, I've been in a lot of poor situations. I find myself chasing down the scourge across this countryside. I didn't think I'd find myself in the teeth of a plan of Bane.
The tyrant's will extends throughout every element of this land. For dominion itself is his domain. I do not come to you as an enemy, but as an ally. There are those within the tyrant's God's church whose understanding is incomplete. I know that the blood of my Brol smirks sarcastically. Brothers, stains your fingernails, and for this you have my approval. Those who do not steward the small folk, those who do not raise them as one would livestock, they are no friends of mine. I require your help. There are other artifacts of this nature that have yet to be recovered, and as you have seen, they drive even sworn champions of law to despicable acts.
Adriel chews on that for a second and says, I am but a simple paladin. I look to cleanse a scourge. No more, no less. If you intend on the same ends in these purposes after some of the servants have done terrible things in these mountains, I am happy to join you. I can't imagine the depths of which this goes, and that doing this alone would be easy.
It is not the strength of your arm that I ask for, but the strength of your devotion. Tell me, do you understand how near tyranny and mercy rest to each other? One is incapable of peace without power. One is incapable of order without authority. The tyrant's will is my own, and it is for that reason that I seek to bend it to my own.
I know that the mortals who have dealt along this line have been deeply affected by Bane and don't seem to be able to handle his connection to them. I prefer to keep that power to the gods. So I have no problem with my resolve in mitigating the mortals that wane between here and there.
The dead three were mortals, and you and I stride closer to godhood than others. Are you equipped for the task?
Adriel will hesitate and then nod. I have dwarven steel and the resolve of Ilmater. As a paladin, I would say generally I don't need more, but I'm happy to have someone else who has deeper goals alongside mine.
There is always more to take from this world. Shall we claim it?
Nodding, I will say, for my part, I will claim peace for many around these parts. And for you, I will leave what you need to take.
In that, we are aligned.
Well, you've done some cursory reconnaissance ever since arriving to Thentia in your search for the one known as Adriel. And you have found where you are expected to show up once you have found your companion, or in this case, your confidant at least. You're being summoned to Ryland's Tower. A vast, taller than it is wide spire that rests right in the center of Thentia, the heart of this tower being the heart of the city itself.
Very good. There's no time to delay. Shall we enter?
You seem more knowledge than I am as to the next steps of these steps of Bane. I will follow you, Brol.
Well, I'll seek out the agent that we were supposed to meet with.
As you make your way in, striding purposefully through the as you make your way through, striding purposefully through the marble floors of this tower, you spot a simple worker who is able to direct you to the tower of, the room of Milana Homwell, who you would remember, Brawl, the same missing arm, and he also directs you to the room right next to it of Ryland Illitoire.
Very good. We're seeking out Milana Homwell first, I believe.
Right. As you make your way up the stairs, departing for Milana's room, the room is filled with the scent of lavender and the bright, shining lights of what you can assume to be some sort of torch or possibly a light cantrip. Opening the door, you see the one-armed human woman. She appears to be meditating upon the floor. She has laid out behind her what look to be divination tools belonging to that of the god Torm.
Does she take notice of us, or is she lost within her trance?
She looks at you purposefully, motioning with her eyes for you to sit, but makes no motion to move or to speak.
Brol sits comfortably, drawing forth a nearby chair, looks to Milana, and says, "A little grayer of mane than I last met you. Yet, I see still that you cling to that old wound. It could be mended for you, if only you ask."
Milana shakes her head, still wordless, as she finishes the divination spell that she has cast. You see that her eyes begin to glow with a golden light as she smiles in recognition of some unseen truth. Finally, she stands up, gently, but not slowly, as she looks to you and Adriel. Some wounds can be healed through magic, though she kind of grasps at it like a phantom pain. I prefer the reminder of what has been lost.
Brol doesn't
Please.
respond, simply takes a pull at the wineskin at their hip and offers it to Adriel.
Yeah.
Adriel, calmly shaking his head, turns it down, but says, I spent a life reminding myself of pains. It's how I get through day to day. I empathize with that thought more deeply than you know.
The woman nods, looking to both of you. I won't waste much of your time. You know why you are here, and I am going to tell you what you are here to do. As she takes out what you can tell to be a bag of holding and places it on the ground. This is the last tablets. With yours each, that makes 3. We have recovered all of them, and now we need you to destroy them.
I have served you loyally in the past in such a matter. Where is it? What do we face?
He nods. To the north of here, some 4, 5, possibly even a 10-day if conditions are bad march, there is an elemental node of Earth. Some cultists of elemental chaos attempt to open a rift to summon their dark demon, god Ogremok, but they failed and instead created a rift in the multiverse. We believe that this might function sort of similar to a sphere of annihilation. We think that this is the only way we'll be able to destroy these tablets in time before they claim another soul. You will travel to there. You will rid these tablets of their magic by plunging them into the pool.
A slow and purposeful grin spreads over Brol's face as he hears the name Ogremok and says, "It seems my destiny is finally coinciding with that of my god. You send me to slay a primordial. It is one of the tasks of sainthood the dead 3 themselves achieved. What else can you tell me?"
She thinks about it, long and purposeful in her thoughts, like she's chewing on each of them. My previous attempt to transport the discs to Eltergard alone was a mistake. I will not make this mistake again. I've trusted you with it this time, as she hands you over the bag. This contains the first. The second and the third will have to be deposited, for no mortal could carry the three for long enough to make the trek. This bag should insulate you from the effects.
As she says that, I open the bag. What does it feel like? Just for a moment.
It feels like power. Raw primordial power etching out of the third and last tenet of Bane. That obsidian carved tablets with the words of power that the god Bane had inscribed upon it. You can feel your presence to your god growing thinner and thinner, and at the same time thicker and thicker.
I bring the drawstring closed once again, and I smile toward her, saying, I walk with these always. They will be no burden.
He takes a deep breath, inhale, exhale. Regardless, it would be safer to store them in a place where they cannot tempt you. The Monastery of the Frozen Fist is your destination. It contains a tunnel that will lead you directly to the Earth Node. It is up in the West Galena Mountains, just north of Glister.
Do you have any idea of the challenges we may face upon the road? Any rumor? Any local wisdom?
There is a rumor of a white worm flying overhead, though it has not been spotted in several 10 days.
A worm, you say? A white dragon?
She nods. Adults. Fully formed, fully functioning. Breath so cold it can cause blood to freeze upon contact.
Brol glances toward Adriel, then back to Milana, and says, Then it is favorable fortune that I travel in the company of a dragon slayer.
Adriel's shocked at Bane's knowledge of that. Nods, trying to do the math of how he is aware of that, but shakes his head affirmatively, remembering the biting cold of the last white worm he faced.
Brol looks toward Adriel and says, You perished in the attempt, if I recall.
Pulled out of the sky by worm much more powerful than we thought existed on that tower.
There will always be greater foes. Let us make certain that we overcome them. I look back toward Milana, and I say, I do not wish to burn the wicks of your candles to ash. If you have other intelligence to share with us, then please speak. Otherwise, the
I will give her a history check. She shakes her head. Nothing further. I would not waylay your journey any longer.
Then burden us not with your prayers. We will achieve this by our own hands. Brol looks toward Adriel and says, Well, Dragon Slayer, the road awaits.
I ask that we do only one thing. Prepare ourselves and steel ourselves If we cross that worm, I remember it burning my skin. If we can find clothing or we can find items to keep us warm from that incredible cold, it would benefit us greatly.
Alana nods, and she says, "Look below the disc. I have already provided such devices."
Potions of frost resistance. Potions of frost resistance.
There is a potion which you would definitely recognize as cold resistance,
A
but underneath it are tucked 2 sets of cold weather gear as well as 2 sets of crampons.
Brol hates the cold. Reminds him of the spine of the world. Shuddering a little bit. They'll nod.
Adriel hates the cold. It reminds him of the skin of a pesky vampire he keeps adventuring with from time to time.
The journey to Glister is not difficult. You are able to procure mounts, whether it's your own horses, perhaps it's Butterfly for one of the days, unless that is a magic item that you are using for this adventure.
I have, I find Steed currently. Adriel and I
Okay.
are also both capable of 30-foot flight, I believe, thanks to his broom of flying. So whatever method would be easiest for us to traverse with that.
The ability to fly cuts down the winding forest trek down to 2 days. Not that time is particularly of an issue. However, you are able to trek through Glister without problem. As you arrive in the town, what you see below is a hustling and bustling hub of activity. It is just a trading and a mining town, but the whole city is on edge, it seems. Would you stop in the town for anything?
Certainly. I'd like to stop in the town, converse with a few locals about what has them so on edge, other than the 6'3" half-orc with shrunken heads hanging from their belt. But I'd like to make an insight or investigation check in order to pick up what I can about the undercurrent of panic that is so clearly here.
Brawl, I just imagine Brawl towering over a halfling twice, or that he's twice the size of, saying, "What's wrong?"
Pretty much.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation or a persuasion check as you're asking around the town.
21 on intimidation.
21. What would you be doing during this time, Adriel?
Adriel's probably walking kind of along the shop line, looking at the more blue-collared existence of Glister, kind of the pouring, fraying edges of the lower middle class to see, while Bane has a very delicately deep, huge, impending touch, being a little bit more conversational with the people who are poor along the town to see what they see when others are working.
All right. Feel free to give me an investigation or perception check, or if you are proficient in a tool that any blue collar workers might be using, you could use that instead. But Brawl, with a 21, you hear the town is abuzz as another dragon attack, probably happening while you were on your way to Glister, has been reported. The beast, it seems, did not fly into town. It crawled, or at least as dragons move, it lumbered. The wings looked like they had been chewed off. But the breath of frost was completely unaffected, as evidenced by what you can see to be the frozen corpses of some of its victims being collected by the dead, or by the dead catcher.
A dragon that lives wingless is an exceptional creature. Have I ever heard any tales of such a worm?
Go ahead and give me a history check.
20.
With the 20, you've certainly heard rumors, and you've heard legends of wingless dragons, some known as lindworms, others naturally wingless due to either a deformity or due to an injury. But in this area, none have ever been reported as legends.
Is there any rumor, any speculation upon what sort of foe this worm may have grappled with that led to its injuries?
There is many speculations. Some say frost giants, some say giant yetis. Others still say sturges, packs and packs of sturges that descended upon it. You can't really get an answer that sounds like it would make sense.
I hate that out of all of those, the idea of 3,000 sturges chewing a dragon apart is the scariest option.
They just move through it in the cloud and pick it clean, leaving a skeleton.
As I listen to these rumors, may I make an insight check to see whether any of these are reliable?
Certainly.
18.
With an 18, none of them are truly reliable. These are stories spread by townsfolk in order to entertain themselves and possibly to cope with the unknown. None of them have any validity.
Working off that 20 history, were there any other signs of injury on the dragon? Lightning scars, for instance.
Again, it's not something that you could really piece together as anything that would be good to go off of. And Adriel, as Brol is asking around about these dragon attacks, you observe the town seems to be hastily rebuilding, and more than that, they appear to be trying to fortify, as the wooden panels of non-essential buildings such as outhouses and smithies have been torn down and bandaged up, trying to cover windows and holes in walls as many townsfolk are not going about their day-to-day trading business. They're simply cowering in what looks to be basements and other holes that have been dug to protect from from what you can assume to be the frosty breath of whatever this dragon was.
Would any of the townsfolk have heard these worms usually communicate? Would any of the townsfolk have heard what it was looking for, or screaming, or that much time in town? It's usually vocal about its wants.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Good question.
5. Man.
Trying to figure out what the truth is and what is myth in this town is very difficult, and you are unable to discern such things. However, some people say that, it wanted food, it wanted treasure. Others say that it was looking for a place to make a nest and lay down.
Going to Brawl, I would mention whatever came through seems so efficient and cold-blooded, for lack of a better term, that the townsfolk almost seem traumatized to a stupor. They can't give me a good sign otherwise, other than immediate rebuilding is the most important.
The powerless are always so. Consider, though. Treasure. Lair. A dragon's truest treasure is its own life. I do not think that a wingless worm would risk itself in a populated city like this, unless it too was driven by desperation. when one wishes to master an obstinate creature, the first thing one does is clip its wings. I suspect that we will meet this worm's master at some point in our quest.
Still a worm with its wings chewed or ripped off. I hope you brought a big enough sword. And I hope to Ilmater it's not the Sturgis.
Please, not the Sturgis. Really anything but the Sturgis. We are in complete agreement on that.
Hold on, making some notes in my DM notebook here.
Imagine just like rolling into initiative and you see the stat block is named 3,000 Sturgis.
Do you remember that cloud of ravens we saw in the beginning of your Curse of Strahd game?
That, but Sturgis.
God, that's terrifying. All right. Would you be making any other preparations before you depart for the mountains that lead deep and cold into the north?
Naturally,
a gallon of Faerunian DEET. Wait, no, what?
Just a little bit of rest casting to do prior to us setting out. Let me double check. How long is Warden Bond's only an hour. I would rest cast Butterfly just to be able to find Steed and summon up Butterfly, which for Adriel's benefit is a silky black female horse that is covered in a thin and silvered barding that you would note that Brol treats with a surprising amount of care and affection.
I will note you would not have to rest cast that as it would likely already be in position. Oh, unless you're just summoning it, in which case you could absolutely rest cast it.
Yeah, just summoning Butterfly here. Also, I will toss us a rest cast of Aid at the 3rd level before we set out.
I will note one thing before you go into the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to choose its Butterfly's form, correct? Or would it or do you have to use the horse?
I can choose I can choose Butterfly's form, but Brol's connection to that animal is such that they've never summoned them in any way but how they were in life.
I understand. In that case, thought to use a more cold acclimated animal such as an elk does not cross your mind.
Not even once. However, you'll note that Butterfly's barding is even better padded than Brol's cold weather gear is.
Noted.
Adriel puts a delicate but very serious stocking just over the end of the broom.
Is it a wind sock?
It's kind of like a wind sock, just to,
Adriel, you know that the broom can get completely out of control if the little tassels on the end freeze up. So you put a nice woolen sock over it just to make sure that they don't freeze.
It's like a fin up there. You gotta the cross breezes of mountain gusts. When wood still has a moisture content, we're just being safe.
So 10 max HP to yourself and myself. We'll have about 7 hours and 10 minutes of that as we begin our adventuring day.
All right.
And
Would there be any other... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the only other preparation I would be sure to make is while we're resting within... You said this place is called Glister, right?
Correct.
As we're resting within the tap room in Glister, Brol would snarl a little bit contemptuously toward the pottage that we'd been served when asking for dinner. Can't eat this muck. If we're to die tomorrow, then we should at least enjoy our last meal, don't you think? Addressed to Adriel.
Adriel responding, you know, in all my years of existing, I don't think I've chased a decent meal. The church teaches you to eat what's in front of you.
The fat of the land and the blood of the mighty is a victor's right. You have been victorious. You should sup as a victor. And Brol will spend the evening making some of those delicious half-orc carne asada kolaches, pulling out a little bit of jalapeno and a little bit of oregano from the Heward's handy spice pouch, and will make a real meal for the party.
Of course. There are many aspects of Orcish culture which you would despise. However, the food is not one of them, as you prepare one of your culture's most most well-kept secrets.
It's the only way that Brol is connected to Orcish culture, but by God, that sticks to the ribs. I'll present these perfectly cooked, perfectly golden and browned buns, about a dozen of them or so, upon the table before Adriel, and cross my arms as I look with expectation.
Adriel sees carbs as bread dipped in always questionable liquids. Not even used to presentations of bread outside of walking through important offices and walking through other situations. For the most part, never seeing something like this. So excited in the first meal in and of itself. But to try the Orcish culture and understanding that it means something, taking the time to take the first bite and melting down a little bit, shocked with how much he didn't know food was just not a vehicle to more combat.
Brol points at the buns and says, "The braiding is essential to the texture. It's not the same meal without it." Small things matter greatly. It is why we must defend those who have been preyed upon in this land. The land has value. The people within it have value. Value that they themselves often do not see.
Brawl, I'm going to be honest, these buns have value. This is one of the first times I've taken to look after myself that isn't polishing armor or spent praying. So, enjoying this moment because I'm going to have to fight what sounds like a giant... I'm just hoping it's one giant-sized sturgeon. I'm just really hoping it's just one really big sturge, and that's just because I really...
No, hold on. Going back to the giant-sized sturgeon, I'm gonna have to make some more notes.
If you throw a fucking rock at us with a sturge beak, I quit. I'm just gone. I'm wind walking away. Someone else can deal with this.
But all jokes aside, in the moment, just being able to understand the other side of the table will forever have probably a philosophic difference. His cadence and voice, deep, serious. Whether that's out of defense or need, he has a fire that burns differently. But being able to appreciate that before whatever cold terrain mountain wingless lizard exists in our future, for 5 hot minutes we could just be existent on a plane, not fighting for our lives.
I'd like to offer Adriel an insight check with advantage, if I may, as Brol gets deeper into their cups, rolling up a few joints of that delicious elf weed over the course of the evening. With a 17, Adriel, you can tell that as you ask, whether it's out of need or out of purpose, something that a paladin of mercy such as yourself would pick up on is the fact that Brol is terrified of most everything. Doesn't let it show. Reacts to it to immediately master it, but you sense a great and deep insecurity within this person. The sound of laughter within the corner of the bar causes their head to shoot toward it. The sound of a dropped glass causes them to jump.
Adriel kind of taking in that through all of that large half-orc intimidation, there is that understandable fear Adriel wears just a little bit more closer to the surface. Not really hiding it, probably not having the emotional intelligence to even cover it. But realistically sitting there, being able to have that conversation and not. Brol won't have to roll things like insight checks. Adriel will be happy to meet him at the surface, giving Brol that kind of succinct knowledge that Adriel's had to protect himself in other ways.
Very good. I think that after the meal finishes up, Brol drinks themselves into a stupor, and we awake when we awake the next day.
Indeed. But that's not where we're going to join back in at this story. We are going to join back in 2 days later. You have been deep into your treks. This is not the spine of the world, but it is just as cold, if not colder. The mountains are filled with glacial palaces of ice, and the snow marks your journey at every step, whether you're stepping in it or whether it breaks against you as a blizzard. And right now, this is the fiercest blizzard you have ever seen in your lives. The primordial storm of royals as you are nearing closer to your destination.
Just a quick note, I would hit us with a 3rd level aid rest casted at the end of each of our travel days.
All right. You can do that for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I will note as you finish your rest that night, the travel allows you to rest to slough off your exhaustion. However, you gain no benefits from the long rest aside from recovering from your exhaustion, as the biting cold and the freezing wind is just too much for you to be able to truly recuperate.
Good to know. In that case, I'll hold on to my spell slots.
As we join back in, you are nearing the end of your 3rd night. I need you guys to give me a survival check as you're looking for a suitable shelter and a way to get out of the storm.
One from each of us, or?
Yes, one from each of you.
3.
Collective 10, I like it.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're fine. Does cold weather gear give us advantage on the con save?
It does, but we are not going to be rolling con saves just yet. You are able to find a cave. It appears to be sheltered from the rest of the wind. The mouth of it faces away from where the wind goes in. It appears deep. You think that if you were to head in, you may be able to get a rest there. Would you take this cave, or would you look for another place not as sheltered to take your rest?
Despite our state on the verge of exhaustion, I would take a moment to investigate the mouth of the cave, see if there's any signs of passage. Whether we're the only ones here.
Give me an investigation check at disadvantage due to the biting wind.
19.
With the 19, you could very clearly see claw marks.
You said claw marks
Yes,
in the indication?
departing
Mm-hmm.
in and out of the cave. It appears to be 3 sets, not like 3 creatures, but like 3 sets. 3 sets of 2 from the same creature.
Ooh. Is that consistent with any stories or any knowledge I might have?
Certainly, you've heard of a behir. This certainly would resemble it, the 6 legs and the cave that it lives in. But a behir could not survive out here in the cold.
Brol
It would
looks.
have to be a dragon. Some sort of 6-legged dragon.
Brol will turn to Adriel and say, I believe that we have found the first of our foes. The dragon's lair. You know that we will confront it either now or another time. Are you steeled for this?
I don't like fighting it in its cave, but I think it's the best chance we're going to have right now.
We make our own luck, worry not. Brol will produce 2 scrolls from their pack, and as well as the potion of frost resistance, and we'll hold the 2 scrolls in one hand and the potion of frost resistance in the other, and we'll say, I will offer you a boon in exchange for claiming one of my own. A ward against death, both natural and unnatural. Yet, I will level with you, my own life hangs more tenuously than most. My soul is not my own. I wish to claim this potion. I offer you the scroll in return.
You wish to above table, so you're looking to claim. What does the scroll do? As I'm a newbie enough on that.
So, Death Ward is a cleric spell of 4th level, cleric paladin
Cool.
spell of 4th level. That if you would be reduced to 0 HP, you stay at 1 HP instead.
Okay.
So I'm offering to cast that on you, as well as on myself, in exchange to be allowed to drink the potion of frost resistance.
I'm in. Yes.
Very good. I think I do need to make a charisma check for this. Yeah, I don't have access to 4th level spells on this incarnation of Brol. So I would lead us back out into the biting cold, where the whipping winds would obscure our voices, and I would attempt to cast Death Ward on both of us. First on Adriel. Let's see, a 10 doesn't cut it, so the scroll vanishes. I'll try again on Adriel. Nat 1 doesn't cut it, so the scroll vanishes. And I'll make a 3rd attempt as well. With a 21, finally, the words are spoken correctly, and big resource loss there. But the blessing of Bane descends upon Adriel.
The biting cold ruins your first spell cast as it floods your mouth. It causes you to choke. The last word of the spell failing as the scroll is consumed. Similarly, the second scroll you are unable to muster up the will to proceed in the biting cold. However, the third you manage to get it as the scroll vanishes. You can feel the tyrant's blessing bestowed upon you, Adriel. And what does it look like as you cast Death Ward?
There's a thin green flame that runs over Adriel's body for a brief moment and continues to shimmer with a dark hue after it recedes. Even the fire is cold.
Adriel taking the chill, feeling the kind of more gray area'd magic than he probably is potentially used to. Ham making sure that Brawl takes the potion, knowing that if he intends to take that potion, he intends on getting close to hand-to-hand combat with the worm inside and nods to make sure that he takes it before we enter any further.
Oh, certainly. I drink the potion. I pull another scroll out of my bag and I attempt to cast Holy Weapon on myself. And with a 15, I succeed.
Your weapon, your flame tongue that glows with that green flame, is consumed in radiance.
Speaking of, I'll speak the command words for my Helm of Brilliance and for my Flame Tongue Glaive, and for the first time in Adriel's sight, you'll see the Executioner's cowl studded with gems begin to emit dim radiance. And as I speak the command word in Infernal, Ruin, you see a long, thin blade of green flame erupt out of the head of my battle staff. I look toward Adriel and say, "Shall we? There are dragons to slay."
I've been looking forward to another wrap of Ilmater's cord around my symbol. Might as well collect another.
Then I shall offer you the first trophy from the creature's body. I think we'll try the sneak in, as possible or impossible that might be, as I'm glowing like a fucking Christmas tree.
I'm a natural
that's,
light.
I think it's safe to say that is well and truly impossible, given the neck of the cave's very wide berth, and given that you are glowing like Christmas, there is no way you're going to be able to stealth here.
As I look into the mouth of the cave, may I attempt an intimidation check to draw this creature out?
Certainly.
It knows we're coming. I will bellow into the mouth of the cave. "Wingless worm of unknown name, I have come to challenge you by the tyrant's authority. Petty kings, bloodlines overextended. I seek your death. Prove yourself to me at your peril."
You hear nothing for seconds. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Do we have inspiration for this?
You do have inspiration. I completely forgot to mention that. If you look above your nameplates, you should see a D20 icon that indicates that you have inspiration. Both of you have inspiration.
I do not see the D20 icon, but I'm gonna roll this one with advantage.
Oh, it's above your character, or it's like your player name, not your character.
I see his. Yep.
Okay. A 19. Let me roll some. You hear nothing, then the skittering of 6 feet. Go ahead and give me a perception check, both of you.
I will remind you of my 120-foot dark vision.
Yes.
23.
Brol, you know the adventurer's rule. Always look up. As you see it climbing on the ceiling, what might look like a behir if it wasn't covered in frost, this 6-legged figure of a frost salamander. No true dragon, but very draconic in nature.
Brawl's first thought is literally just disappointment at how many resources I've used on a frost salamander.
You see clinging to its legs are 2 that appear to be young. And I will move you onto the map. Go ahead, roll initiative, both of you.
Oh, baby, I've been waiting to hear that for so long. By the way, how many feet up is our frost salamander? And why is there a big fucking hand on the map? That makes me uncomfortable.
You see now where the frost salamander was sleeping. The hand of some giant stone statue, frozen over and covered in ice, disturbed only by the movement of the worm.
Oh, baby. Oh, I want initiative.
You see, now that you see this creature a little bit closer, go ahead and give me a perception check, both of you.
7.
7. 10. That's not good enough, unfortunately, to notice that small detail. However, Brawl, you do in fact win initiative. This thing is 15 feet up. Well, it's 30 feet up, but it's 15 feet down. So you could just reach it with your glaive.
Wings of Tyrant Flame erupt from Brawl's back as they will hurl themselves toward the salamander with the battle cry, striking with ruin once, twice, and as the haft goes flying with the bonus action. 15 to hit.
First will hit, the second will bounce off of its icy armor. However, the third is indeed a hit.
Very good. With the first strike, 29 points of damage, of which, let me give you that math, of which 11 is fire.
Alright. Noted. This thing is not immune to fire or resistant. You are able to deal full damage.
After the first strike, do I have any indication of how wounded it appears to be?
This appears to be a small, not inconsequential, but ultimately non-vital gash.
Very good. In that case, I'm going to circle around to the back of the creature, and I'm going to deliver that bonus action strike, and I will place a second level smite upon it as well.
Alright.
Total of 40 damage.
Another 40. Very good. Is that the end of your turn?
Let me double check here. Could I use an object interaction, having come this close to the hand, in order to scan it for any arcane symbols or religious inscriptions?
I will. The hand, I will just tell you that the hand does not have any sort of iconography on it. It appears to be smooth, featureless.
Good to fucking know, but I'm still going to move a little bit further away from it, and in my turn.
Alright. The Frost Salamander. Brawl, have you ever seen a cave fisher?
Oh yeah. Actually, last Wednesday I ran a few.
Do you know those parasites that stick to fish's tongues and then eat the tongue?
Oh,
and then
off.
replace it? As it opens its mouth, you see some sort of vicious parasite clinging to a half-eaten tongue. As it reaches out, I need you to give me a dexterity save as it attempts to restrain you with a tendril. With an 8, you are unfortunately restrained as it brings it towards your mouth, reeling it in to fuel both predator and parasites. The Frost Salamander will, it's going to go ahead and breathe on you. I need a Constitution saving throw, Brawl.
24.
A 24 is a success. You take half damage and halved again because of your cold resistance. That's 57, half to
23 and then 11, I believe.
Yes, very good. Very wise use of your resources. Baby, it moves up to you, Adriel. Nipping at your feet, it's going to breathe on you as well. Well, see here, I need a dexterity saving throw.
Is it going to enter my 10-foot radius there?
It will, if that provokes an opportunity attack from you.
It would. Well, Click the sheet. There we go.
All right.
32 misses.
A 32 just barely hits for 16 slashing damage as you cut this baby down but not bring it to the ground.
All right, and then the dex save.
All right. A 23 is a success. You will take half of this damage. You take 12 points of cold damage. Ironically, more than Brol took, as the cold breath washes over you. This frost salamander over here will do the exact same thing. I need another dexterity save. That one's a fail. You will take the full 4d8, unfortunately.
4 damage. Nope.
That's 19.
Real quick, I do need to make a con save. For Holy
You
Weapon.
do? I didn't know you could fail those. Yep. And that is the end of that baby frost salamander's turn. Totally not a winter wolf. What are you talking about?
All right, I'm going to step up between them here. No, I'll stay right here because I can still make contact with the bigger salamander. It looks wounded, yes?
It does indeed. Brol has not managed to quite bloody it, but it looks like it's about to be bloodied.
All right, I'm going to take 2 swings with my glaive at it.
A 20 hits,
Nat
but a
1.
critical 15 unfortunately does not.
All right, I will, before a bonus action, I will hit with the glaive. I will burn a first level smite on it.
All right.
$25 damage.
25. Now very clearly bloodied, this frost salamander rails in pain.
And then I will take my bonus action at it.
An 18 will hit as it pierces through its natural hide.
Shouldn't be radiant on that. Should just be regular. That's my fault.
Another 13. It is getting down. Anything else on your turn?
I think with both of the little ones kind of facing me, that'll leave Brawl the opportunity to take the biggest danger out of the room. I think I'm going to stay right here at the second.
Brol,
All right.
Brol has a cruel thought. You said that this thing was like, the parasite was like a cave fisher. Does that mean that the filament is something I can strike at to cut myself away from?
Indeed it is. You are restrained until you cut such filaments.
Very good. With my first attack, I'd like to try to sever the filament as I hack at the sticky webbing. 17.
Right. A 17 will absolutely hit. No need to roll for damage as you simply slice the tongue, the long extended tongue off. You fall 15 feet, You take 4 bludgeoning damage as you are dropped to the ground.
I fly.
Oh, you fly.
Yeah.
You don't take bludgeoning damage if you fly.
Very good. The next thing I'll do with my second attack is I will zip down toward the frost salamander here, its child, and I will attempt to grapple it.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
17.
17. Let's see here. Yes, with the 7, you are able to lift the screaming snake off of the ground. You have it grappled.
With my remaining movement, I'd like to move back. Over here. I'd like to use an object interaction to pull out a Heward's handy spice sack and cover this thing with ghost pepper, as I hold it in front of me, like bait and like a shield for the parasite that I know does not value the life of this child.
You lose inspiration if you had it.
Say again.
But I said you lose inspiration if you had it. But Bane probably doesn't smile upon this, but Leviatar definitely would. As you are able to do that, I will narrate the result of that on the Frost Salamander's turn.
Beautiful.
Anything else?
No, I'm very happy with that turn.
All right. The Frost Salamander, it's going to go ahead and give a strength save as its eyes go wide, but the parasite's eyes lock onto it and sees another prey. Great. It is able to keep its mouth closed just long enough to scratch at you. It is unable to breathe on you. However, it does get a chance to recharge. It's a 4, so it does not recharge its breathing breath, but it will try to claw at you 4 times. A 24 to hit.
That hits.
For... Oh, lovely, it's broken. Is it? Wait, maybe it's just lagging.
I think it's broken. You can't read the damage if you mouse over it.
Yeah, that's weird. Let me just roll it. That's 10 damage. That's 10 slashing damage, I mean.
Very good. Taken.
Alright, 17 will miss. 20 will hit, I believe.
Correct.
For 6 damage. And 19 will also just hit.
Sure will.
Full 11 damage, a total of 27 taken this turn. And that is the end of the Frost Salamander's turn. This baby, it will come after you again, Adriel, stepping here as it will try to bite through you. That's a 8, which will very badly miss. This baby, it will hack and slash, trying to get out of your grasp, Brol. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
25.
It is blinded by the capsaicin of the peppers and filled with rage, but you are able to keep it restrained. Adriel, this is your turn.
With this baby in front of me, I'm going to take shots at it.
All right. Both of those will hit.
$11 and 18 respective.
That is just enough. How would you cut down this tiny, at least by the standards of the gigantic salamander next to it, how would you cut down this baby salamander?
As it kind of opened its mouth and its mouth grazes off the steel, not formed quite big enough to swallow metal of that size yet. Taking the glaive, quickly putting it into the mouth of the baby, and just stepping closer to the larger frost salamander and just dragging the glaive clean through its jaw, just moving kind of the top cap of its head clean off to close the distance.
As you rip this young's head and most of the neck straight off, the head goes tumbling back with the momentum of your glaive as you go for the next attack on the frost salamander. And 20 will hit. For 11 bludgeoning. Very good. As you bring the half down, you hit it in some of its exposed flesh, causing the ice that surrounded it to crack and the wound to open again.
With that, I will end my turn.
All right. Brol, it is your turn.
Very nice. Unwilling to relinquish my grip upon the salamander, I can't attack with 2 hands. Instead, I'm going to cast a spell as one of the fire opals within my helm begins to glow. Let's see. I'm gonna cast Fireball, positioning it in such a way that it hits both of our salamander friends as the explosion emanates out in the west of the cave.
All right.
Actually, before I do that, can I take a quick glance at the cavern around and make sure it's structurally stable enough to endure Fireball?
This is a very sturdy ice cave.
Well, then it's time to Fireball.
You'd be able to hit all three without hitting your party, I would say.
Very nice. Let me double check the DC on this. I'm not sure if it's my spellcasting DC. DC 18, in fact. .6 points of fire damage on the DC 18.
Alright. Both of the babies succeed with natural 20s. However, the frost salamander is unable to get out of the way as it takes the full 26 damage. That's 13 to each.
Was I confused? I thought Adriel put one of these things down.
Oh, my bad. I just didn't remove them from the map. But yes, the baby still succeeds with a natural 20.
Let's see. Very nice. And I'm going to use a bonus action. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not going to use a bonus action this turn. I'm going to end my turn there.
Alright, Frost Salamander. Let me give him another con save as he takes that damage.
Con save?
You see that by the way, you see that his Burning Fury immediately causes the icy breath to build back up. And the con save is he's trying to hold in this parasite.
Good.
Which is what I'm going to say is, the equivalent of holding his breath.
Yeah, keep your mouth closed.
Sorry, concentration, I mean. Yes, he will try and restrain it again. That's another strength save as the parasite tries to break free. Not enough this time. You see the mouth open as it looks on in horror as the filaments, still retracting and rebuilding itself, wraps around the baby. It is forced to make a bite attack against its own against its own kid, which it will do.
I absolutely release the grapple at this point and let its progeny spring into its mouth.
Oh, everything's broken. Cool. See here. That's 11 damage, and the progeny is swallowed.
Any effect from the ghost pepper?
Yes, the frost salamander takes 1 fire damage and instantly recharges it again.
Yes, I'll take that.
Actually, no, it takes 1 capsaicin damage. And that is the end of its turn, as it thrashes about trying to pull its own young out of its mouth. The baby. Let's see here. At the start of its turn, it takes the 15 acid damage.
Oh, this thing has a swallow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw it swallow its own young.
Good.
All right, and it will thrash around trying to escape its own mother. It will try to bite its way out of the womb. That's a 23 to hit against the frost salamander. And I don't think it can knock. Yeah, it can't. It can't knock this thing prone from inside of it. That would be just too horrifying.
It's all up in those guts.
Please never say those words again in this context. I'm scarred for life. Adriel, it's your turn.
Sorry, I was staring off into the distance. Well, I'm just gonna keep hacking at the big awful things, swallowing things. Answering that problem with my sword seems the only way, or the glaive seems the only way to handle this.
All right, 1 hit and 2 hits. 18 and 13. I'm just going to assume you hit this baby frost salamander with the second as the first would kill the frost salamander. As you get mother and son on 1 kebab, both of the creatures die. and the frost salamander parasite all collapses purposeless to the ground. Good job, gang. You guys are gonna have to pay for my therapy, but good job.
Looking over the salamander, Adriel will kind of say, "Did you season its child?"
Low-grade meat. Not something I wish to butcher for myself. Brol's gonna see the mouth of the frost salamander still lolling open, with the parasite kind of trying to escape it, and is gonna pull out the wand of smiles and point it at the corpse of the frost salamander.
No, fuck you. We're moving on from the scene. The next morning, as I forcibly end the night, you are able to recover fully in the ice cave and press on to your next destination.
Good.
The rest of the travel takes about 7 to 8 hours as you make your way. You see above you what appears to be the stone structure of the parapets of the monastery of the Frozen Fist. You have found your destination.
And I don't suppose we discovered anything of value within the lair of the frost salamander.
No. There was nothing of value to recover. Nothing of value was gained that day except for rest.
Some good memories.
Some memories.
Very good.
As you see the entrance to this cave, or not to this cave, to the Frozen Fist Monastery before you.
What does it look like? Just a frozen cave where we know this monastery to be?
You see a domed roof of a small shrine, to which appears to lead to some sort of frozen over hat that goes into the ground. You know this to be the location of the Frozen Fist.
Very good. If we were able to rest sheltered from the cold, I'd like to rest cast aid at 3rd level prior to setting out for the journey today.
It would almost have worn off by the time you get to your location.
Very good.
Actually, wait. You would have to rest cast it. So that's 2 hours before the end of your rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, the journey would have ended an hour before the end of your journey.
Good to know. Well, I'll look toward Adriel and say, hopefully the followers of this order as are accepting of other religions as we have been of each other. Supposedly our allies, yet I would tread carefully in the presence of zealots. You never know what might set them off.
If I've learned nothing about my travels, there's nothing more accepting across Faerun than religions of each other.
Well spoken. Yeah, I guess we'll proceed inside.
All right. As you make your way through the monastery of the Frozen Fist, it becomes very clear what has happened. Despoiled, ruined, crumbled. This place houses no life, be it undead or living. As you are able to navigate your way through this very clearly abandoned or perhaps raised settlements, as you make your way inside. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you move your way through.
Are you proficient, Adriel?
Oh no.
Very good. I'll go ahead and make that then. 9.
With a 9, you spot nothing of notes. We're going to enter into a skill challenge as you navigate this frozen temple. We'll go ahead and start with Adriel. Adriel, you need 3 successes before 2 failures. What would you be doing to navigate through this temple that's filled with collapsed structures and freezing cold winds?
temples are usually made pretty solidly. A temple in a cave is going to be kind of chiseled at the edges. So, taking some of the pythons I have with me, looking for semi-down structure, things that are leaning, being able to drive the python into kind of the wedged pieces, using the strength that I have to kind of take the 10 pythons that I have brought and jam them along cracks and crevices in the wall to bandage them to allow us pass.
I carry a sledgehammer. Could I help with that task?
You would not be able to help mechanically, but you absolutely can help in the aid of the task. However, that the nature of skill challenges means that he has to attempt it alone.
Very fair.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check. And if you're proficient in stonemason's tools, you would have advantage, but a 25 is more than sufficient, as you are able to very clearly make pitons, and you think that you definitely have blocked up what might have been some sort of avalanche, or at least a little bit of crumbling of ice from crushing one of your party or blocking your egress. That is one success. Brawl, what would you be doing as you navigate through in order to help make sure that you reach the end of your goal still alive?
Knowing the penchant that worshippers have for guarding their utmost secrets behind riddles, I think I'll be scanning the walls and the structures for any indication of religious iconography that might indicate a trap or a secret passage.
Alright, go ahead and make me a religion check.
11.
With an 11, that is unfortunately a failure. You look through this place. This is iconography of Bane, but this is iconography of Bane you have never seen before. All of these symbols are deeply heretical in nature, as they are false idols to the god. You think you are able to make out something that indicates that this might be a gas trap. However, you are unable to determine that it is in fact a pit trap, as it causes you to tumble and stumble. That is one failure. Adriel, what would you be doing as you enter the second leg of your journey, making your way through a frozen cave that leads to where you know the elemental earth node to be?
With the frozen cave, let me probably using some of the adventurers pack or the explorers pack that I have here, taking rope, tying it before kind of the ice starts into more slippery, longer passages. I know we have crampons in that bag, putting the crampons on my feet, and every so far finding an outcropping to tie, even if it's just a loop of rope around, knowing that I may be large, but the half orc beside me shows nothing but grace and poise. Both of us could go sliding way too quickly. So kind of trying to structurally put a rope so that we can manage our weight against the slippery terrain.
All right. I'll go ahead and give you a perception check or an acrobatics check to do so.
Ooh. Both of those for me are awful. Let's go. I will.
And I remind you, you have inspiration if you wish to use it.
I'm literally going to use that right now, if you do not mind.
Certainly. A 7 is not sufficient as the two of you go tumbling. The pit trap that Brawl discovered earlier with their feet gives way to a shaft that leads maybe 40, 50 feet down. You feel yourself crashing against soft snow as you have gotten lost from your journey. You are able to recover and get back on the path. However, you both suffer a level of exhaustion having failed the skill challenge.
Rough. Let me add that. Very good.
Making your way forward, you finally discover it. Where you have been sent to complete your journey, you see it's a black pool filled with what looks almost like oil stands in the middle of this room. Over it, a hunched figure appears to be drinking it like some sort of ambrosial liquid.
Do they notice us?
They appear to be incognizant of you.
Brol nods toward Adriel, and unless there's any objection, begins to attempt to advance stealthily to take this figure by surprise.
I will note one more thing before you begin.
Mm-hmm.
The room around you is filled with pulsating green crystals. These appear to be sickly green, the same color as Tyrant Flame, and they appear to look they appear to look very unstable.
Cool. Two things. One, the map's totally black for me. Two, is there any indication of their purpose?
Why is the map black? That's why it's dynamic lighting.
Nice.
Purpose? You don't think these crystals have any purpose, as purpose implies intent, but you do think that they store possibly Fire's Rest, but definitely some sort of unstable magic within them.
Well, I'd like to sneak closer to this creature, see if I can get any better understanding of its form or its intention.
Alright, go ahead and give me a stealth check as you attempt to approach.
18.
Alright. With an 18, let me give the hungry boy over here a perception check.
Adriel's fought one of these before.
And 19. As it looks to you, it doesn't turn around. Instead, its jaw distends and opens. As it opens 180 degrees, the eyes look back to you. So hungry! As it inhales and goes charging towards you, the limbs breaking as it gets down onto all fours to charge at you backwards. Its mouth coming at you like some sort of demonic worm. Go ahead and roll initiative.
14.
I'm allergic to high rolls.
So is the hungry, apparently. Except for his perception check. Brawl, once again, you take the initiative. Oops. Don't need two hungry boys. Brawl, it is your turn.
Let's see.
As this feral four-legged, two-legged animal is sprinting towards you.
Brol is going to use a bonus action to speak an invocation to the tyrant, damning this creature's soul to Acheron upon its death. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Wrathful Smite. I'm going to move up to within 10 feet of it, and I'm going to strike twice.
Alright, go ahead and make 2 attacks.
Just to check, I would assume, since we've been traveling through a frigid area, that my Flame Tongue is probably already activated?
Definitely. If you're not moving through a spooky dungeon like this with your Flame Tongue activated, you would have died in Tier 1.
Exactly. That is completely correct. A 16 and a 22 to hit.
Alright. 16, let's see. A 16 will just miss, unfortunately, as you try to cut it, but its jaw opens backwards as it dodges out of the way, but the 22 is able to hit.
Ooh, let's see here. Let me double check. I think that's a D6 from Wrathful. That's a D6 from Wrathful Psychic. Sorry, that's the 2 hit again. That's going to be a total of 25 points of fire, or 25 points of slashing and fire, and an additional 1 point of psychic. And I need it to make a DC 16 Wisdom save against the fear effect.
Alright, it will attempt to do so.
Yes.
That that is a failure as it is pressed between this pool and you, Brawl.
I'm going to take a step backward from Adriel, and I'm going to look toward him and say, "It cannot advance without my consent. Let us stone it to death." That'll be my turn.
All right, Adriel, it's your turn.
Stoning it to death is not was not on my bingo card this evening, so I will pick up a stone from the ground with an object interaction and use magic stone to hit the hungry.
Give us a good
Alright.
Kuatoa burble, right, as you do it?
Right, yeah, learning this from the Kuatoa and escaping through one of the darker moments. Adriel's going to pick it up and kind of go, this'll work. Rubbing the stone in his fingers, charging it up, and throwing it as an attack. Oh, didn't mean to do it at an advantage.
26 will still hit.
Wait, do you have a plus
That's
14 hit with the magic stone?
I have no idea why it's plus 14. I'm going to be totally honest
It's
with
got
you.
a plus 6 mod for some reason on there.
I have no... Is it my... What is it taking that from?
It should be proficiency plus charisma. I think it's a plus 8 for you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah?
A 20 still hits.
But then it's going to mess up... Damn. Yeah, well, damage is good. There you go.
Alright, 9 bludgeoning. As you smack it in the jaw, breaking one of those elongated jagged tooths.
And I will, since that was my attack and my turn there, don't think I get a bonus action on that one.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do not. There you go. I have everything fixed. All right.
Just to let you guys know, we might have to do a part 2. I'm hoping not, but I've got an hour left till I gotta go to work.
Let's kill this thing fast then.
Alright. This thing can't advance towards you. Instead, it will move over. Actually, can it get that close? I don't think it can. As it will move over, climbing over the stone, it lifts up this crystal and begins to shatter it. Shards of crystalline glass shoot out towards you. Brawl, as the nearest person, I need you to make me a dexterity save.
You got it. 23.
You are able to dodge the crystal fly's rest that leaves a trail of wild magic through the air as it embeds in the cave wall behind you. That is the end of its turn. Does it get another wisdom save, or is it over?
Wrathful Smite's insane. It has to use an action to make a wisdom save as long as I concentrate on this up to 1 minute.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a great spell.
Alright, that is the end of the Hungry's turn. Brawl.
I was going to stone it to death, but since we're trying to move fast, I'm going to move up, and I'm going to start beating on it once I get within 10 feet.
Alright.
13, just a 20 hits here, I believe.
Yes, just the 20, unfortunately.
21 or 23 points of damage.
Alright, Adriel, it's your turn.
Real quick, I'm going to fly up 15 feet as I end my turn.
All right. I will... Where did it go? I don't see it on my screen.
It's right here.
There it is. So I can move... I can move that whole distance. I'll close the distance and take 3 big old hacks at it.
Alright, 3 hacks.
Flambe this thing. What do? That might miss.
16 will just unfortunately miss. 28 will definitely hit. And a 30 will also hit.
I will burn 2 first level smites on it. Actually, I will not. I will burn a 2nd level smite on it, is what I will do.
Alright.
Do that. We'll do that. And then we'll do that. The second one shouldn't have had the radiant again. I never hit that button twice. Stream Deck's awful. So 29 and 12.
Right, noted. This thing looks bloodied at this point as it's charging at you with its distended mouth. Anything else on your turn?
That's it. My turn there.
Right, the hungry will reach around trying to bite you, Hansel or Adriel. Actually, it's going to attempt to remake that wisdom save because it hates being afraid. It is no longer afraid as it literally breaks off the part of it that appears to be trying to run away and sprints at you a little bit less. That is its action though, as it will move here. Try and get next to you. Does that provoke a Polar Master for Brawl?
Let's see, I'm 15 feet up with a 10-foot reach. I believe so.
Alright.
I'll take that attack. 30.
30 will hit.
Another 20 damage.
Seeing you flying up in the air will end there, turning around so it can grasp onto Adriel's mouth, or not Adriel's mouth, Adriel's armor with its mouth. Brawl, it is your turn.
I mean, one of those is definitely more horrifying. Yeah, let's see, from my position, I'm going to continue to strike at it, raining down blows like lightning bolts.
Alright. All of those just... Yep, including the first one.
Let me get that damage for you. I believe that's 70 points of damage.
70 points of damage.
Right.
Anything else?
Just double checking my damage totals here, but that'll be my turn. Yeah.
All right.
70.
Adriel, it's your turn. This thing is looking weak.
Gotta do what we gotta do. Whoop! Ooh.
Alright. 24 and a 27. A 14 and a 12. That's 26. Not quite enough to bring it down.
I'll throw the bonus action at it.
21, that'll hit. And Adriel, once again, you get the kill as you bring this thing, which had 10 hit points, down to the ground. What does it look like?
I fought one of these before in a different place, just kind of using the cursory knowledge, knowing that it is very hungry and loves healing, kind of willing to stand there and take the damage, looking at Brawl 15 feet in the air, just driving the back of this the glaive through it and saying, we can't waste our time with small things like this.
Certainly not, yet. I believe there is understanding left to be gained here. I'd like to scan the chamber. Any indication upon the creature's body, what order it may have belonged to, or how it came to be here?
Indeed. This is the creature of the Shadowfell, no doubt. Looking at the blackness, you remember this to be told as a dimensional rift. You see the magical circle that encircles it, that keeps it at bay. It appears to be demonic in nature. You think that this creature crawled out of the Shadowfell here. And you think that if you linger for too much longer, others might follow.
Brawl will communicate as much toward Adriel and say, I believe our journey draws us within. Do you have any preparations to make before we step across the threshold?
The only preparations I have left are to clean the blood of this creature off and apply someone else's.
Spoken like a man of the gods. I'm going to go ahead and try to cast Holy Weapon on myself before we proceed into this portal.
I will note before you proceed into this portal, you were told by your contact that she believes this to act similarly to a sphere of annihilation.
I'm going to take out the Toad Wand I'm going to tie a string around the froking toad that suddenly manifests in my palm, and I'm going to dip him in like a yo-yo.
All right. As you dip it in, there is no longer a toad in this universe. Just as it was brought in, it is taken out. Such is the nature of magic, your string returns. There is no string that you dipped in, only up to the edge of the water.
Hmm.
If there was ever a place to destroy the Tablets of Bane, this would be it.
Yet I do not seek their destruction. I seek to consume them. You said that the crystals within the room possessed a flicker of tyrant flame, a flicker of wild magic.
They do. This one broken still leaks out tyrant flame like a gas leak.
Then I will commit an act of faith. Brol speaks a prayer to the tyrant. I ask only for an opportunity to challenge the sanctity of your throne. In victory or in defeat, that edifice will be made surer. Give me this chance. I want to snap
As you call.
real quick. I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to snap off one of the crystals of Phaserus and Tyrant Flame here, holding it within the black gauntlet. I would like to plunge it into the heart of this portal, attempting to transmute it into something else.
As you call upon this act of faith, I need you to give me a charisma check.
13.
13. Pool glimmers for a moment, then shakes. Brol, you can feel a tingling coming from the container which holds the tablets. You feel imbued with some sort of divine strength, like you could shatter them with your bare hands.
Yet these tenets are mine to steward. Still holding the crystal, I would like to use it to create a gash on my forearm, allowing my blood to intermingle with the magic as I place the first tenet of fear within the inky depths of the pool.
And it's gone. As it dissolves into the water, your blood mingling with it, turning into the anathema of life itself. The first tenet is consumed by the inky void.
I follow the tenet of hatred. I allow it to suffuse me as well.
As the second tenet is dropped into the void, a similar result. You see the pool begin to shake and rumble. The entire cave is filled with energy. The hatred of Bane finally unleashed.
Brol hesitates for just a moment, looking at the third tenet of tyranny. Something changes within them. Looks toward Adriel with the stone in hand and the bleeding forearm in the other, and asks, "My will to dominion is my own. Yet, of what I have seen of you, you draw your strength elsewhere. I ask, do you wish for this power?"
Looking at Brawl, I will respond. I will always look for this power, but the power today is not mine.
Brol withdraws the crystal from the pool and tosses the third tenant in to be destroyed.
As the tenant is cast into the pool, it disappears, but it does not burble under the water like the other two. Instead, it disappears like flash paper, causing the room to be filled with a vibrant white light. The cave is gone. In its place, you can feel a different sort of stone underneath you works, and all around it, a green fog that dissipates into a multicolored burst. It suffuses your feet. Adriel, Brol, you are back up to full hit points and resources.
Oh, on that subject, did I get the chance to attempt that casting of Holy Weapon, or was I too focused upon the task at hand?
When were you casting it? Remind me?
It was right after we killed the Hungry and before I tried to jump into the pool.
Anything you've cast before you jump into the pool is immaterial. This is a place outside of time and outside of space.
Ooh, baby.
The durations of your spells will not last.
I like that. What next?
I move you onto the map. You find yourselves standing in front of a pillared dais. Behind it, the statue of a winged gargoyle, the throne of what you know to be your god, Bane, the tyrant, the Black Hand, the conqueror. He sits before you, regarding you, his stature imposing, 15 feet tall as he stares down at you with emerald green eyes. Wordless.
It's not the first orc bigger than me I've set out to strike down. Vral's eyes begin to brim with tears as they take a step forward and address the master of their fate. Long have I sought you, the foot of your throne, through blood, through slavery, through suffering. These were not offerings to you, but an assurance that I could overcome each of these, not in your name, but in mine. I have come here for my birthright, and I shall not be denied it. The iron path has led me to the foot of your throne, and it shall be shattered by my hand.
The orc regards you for long seconds, pausing. I thought silence was the voice of authority.
I speak with my own voice. I require no authority beyond my own.
Came here seeking my authority, did you not?
I came here seeking revenge.
The aspect of Bane rises from his throne. Go ahead and roll initiative.
I knew it was going to be a nat 20. I felt it in my blood.
As the green flame coalesces into a morning star, wordlessly, he grabs into it, shattering a pillar. Your foe draws near. Brawl, you are first to act.
Brol rips the black gauntlet from their fist and casts it before the throne of the tyrant, and flexes that bare hand in the somatic components of a spell and says, "You will suffer as I have suffered." And I would like to try to cast the tyrant's hideous revelation upon my own god as visions of chains, visions of blood, visions of rats, visions of starvation, all of the things that Brol has endured for the sake of this begin to flash before their mind.
That's a 12. You watch as the aspect of Bane begins to be filled with this hideous revelation. The visions of rot, the visions of chains, the visions of tyranny. Yet he does not relinquish as you use one of his legendary resistances to avoid the effect of this. Oh, that's a wisdom save. My apologies. He does not need a legendary resistance in this case.
Does it change on a nat 7 from the charisma roll?
Oh, +5, +7. Sure, I'll use your original roll. That makes more sense. That would still cause him to fail, as he does in fact use a legendary resistance.
Brol sees this and says, "It is not your demise I seek. It is an apology." And I'm going to end my turn there.
The aspect of Bane looks at you wordlessly. Tell me, orc child, what tyrants would apologize?
A broken one.
He laughs a little bit, genuinely. Very well. As he slams into the ground cracks and fissures around you, Brol and Adriel. You are surrounded in a wall of prismatic fog. As he casts a 9th level spell.
Well, let me just switch my subclass to Watchers and counterspell that now. What save do you need?
No save right now. But you are surrounded and let's see here. We're surrounded in a prismatic wall.
Is that circular or hemispherical?
That is hemispherical.
Good to know.
Adriel, it is your turn. I need a DC. I need a DC 17 Constitution save as the blinding light fills your eyes.
Oh, that's great.
24 succeeds.
Since this is the first time I've interacting with prismatic fog, is there anything I need to know?
Don't go through it.
Stay inside of it.
Don't touch it.
Okay.
It is opaque. You cannot see outside of it. You can only see the blinding light emanating off of it.
Can I dispel it?
Make me an Arcana check. DC 24, as this is a 9th level spell.
I can't even hit that, so that's not a problem.
Nat 20 it.
You have no idea.
All right, so if I'm in here and this is the case and I can't see out, I'm going to use my action to cast Bless on Brawl and I.
Nice.
All right.
Since I can't see out, I'm going to arm us to protect ourselves or saves the best I can, and I will not exit it. I will keep you in that kind of aura, but I will split up just far enough so if something hits us, it may not hit us both. And end my turn.
Let me see here. Yeah. Alright. Brol would like to... Let me see if this would work. Let me think about this. We need to get out of this. I'd like to use an action to summon Butterfly once again outside of the range of the prismatic wall, directly in front. Actually, no, not directly in front of the avatar. I'd like to summon it over here, if that's possible, next to a pillar.
Alright. So are you summoning it in the middle of the wall, or are you summoning it on the far side, beyond the wall? I see.
So there's no wording in Fine Steed that says that I need to be able to see the area that I'm summoning it in, as far as I can tell.
No, you do not.
Very good.
And what is Butterfly? Warhorse?
Warhorse.
Indeed.
Is someone playing that music?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, that's coming from the Roll20 music. You can turn it down to the settings if you need.
Okay.
Double checking this. So, Misty Step has a target of self. Any spell that I cast upon myself can also target my steed. I would like to Misty Step to Butterfly, if that's possible.
You cannot. You can target the steed, however, you still have to be able to see where you are targeting.
I have 10-foot blind sight.
You can, in fact, teleport onto your steed.
Brol mounts Butterfly and prepares to charge toward the Avatar of Bane. Actually, sorry, real quick, I wanted Butterfly a little further away from the prismatic wall, because that thing is spicy.
Alright. Anything else?
Let me see here. Double checking my object interactions, one moment. Yeah, now that I'm on Butterfly and I'm mounted, let's see. I'm able to use Butterfly's movement, correct?
You are.
Very good. The Warhorse is going to canter to the northern section of this chamber, trying to split up the targets. Let me move myself up over here. Just measuring that. Yeah.
Anything else?
That'll be my turn. I just can't move the Warhorse.
Alright. The aspect of Bane. It stretches, cracking its knuckles as it moves forward. It takes a look at your Warhorse, and it takes a look at you, Brol. It's going to slam down on this Warhorse with a flame strike.
Butterfly's with me. I rode him over to the
He's with you. I apologize. That's good, because that's a shitty flame strike. He looks into the prismatic wall, seeing through it with his true sight. He looks back to you, Brol, as he is going to go ahead and cast a banishment on your horse. I need a charisma save, DC 17 from Butterfly.
You got this, Butterfly. You got a +4 on this save. If that's not gonna save.
Your horse disappears from reality, shunted back to the material plane.
She served her purpose.
That is the end of the aspect of Bane's turn. Adriel.
Seeing with this Misty Step tended to work. How dumb do I want to get here?
Bro, it's you and Brawl. We can get as dumb as we want.
So I can Misty Step out of this. Do I need a target?
No, you don't. Can you see through it with blind sight?
Yeah,
I have
he's got the
blind sight.
fighting style.
You absolutely can Misty Step through it.
Awesome. I will Misty Step. What is that? We'll Misty Step out to here, 35 feet. We'll Misty Step to this spot. And
are you immune to frightened, Adriel?
He's level 10
am
paladin.
Indeed. Gotcha. As I can go ahead and share this since it won't have any effect on either of you, as you can feel the aura of tyranny emanating out from this creature.
Well, that's good news. That's purposely why I avoided that. I will, as I've Misty Stepped, can I Hunter's Mark? No, it's 2 spells. Can't do that. Never mind. I could. Can I Divinity? That's the one I always get confused. Can I Divinity if I cast it a spell? I can Divinity. Awesome. I will. Can't get within 10 feet. There's no way that'll work. His wisdom's got to be off the charts, right?
We saw it's a +7.
It's a +7. And my DC is 16, so he'd have to roll painfully low.
It's a 55% chance.
We're gonna abjure. We're gonna try to abjure the enemy. Fiends and undead have disadvantage on the saving throw, but we'll send it.
God, what if this is a celestial?
Let me read this. This creature cannot be frightened. This is the god of tyranny. Fear is beneath him.
Then I will end my turn. Give it a shot.
Brawl, your god stands before you, angry.
Oh, I'm the only god that I see here. Let me see. We have options. I am going to imbue him with a revelation once again. He will feel my suffering before he perishes. Not
23. The only suffering he feels is his own.
I'm gonna fly. How high is the chamber?
The chamber is 30 feet tall.
That's exactly.
And it doesn't reach a roof, by the way. The dem plane simply ends.
I will scrape up against that vast grayness above me. Actually, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna end my turn.
Alright, you're 30 feet up.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. The aspect of Bane. He is going to go ahead and look to you, Brawl, then look to you, Adriel. As he will weigh his options, he will decide to go after you first, Adriel. As he slams down into you with a Morning Star twice. That's a critical hit, 29. That's 15 piercing and 11 necrotic.
You are resistant to necrotic, remember?
Yes.
The 16 missing those. He slams it in, crushing a pillar of obsidian. And then he is going to channel his commanding strike. Brawl, I need a wisdom save.
I cannot be charmed if that matters. Doesn't look like it does
This
here.
this is a command.
Very good. 16 failing.
16 fails as Bane commands you to fall.
Very good. Yeah, I'll fall 30 feet in that case on the beginning of my turn.
Indeed, Adriel, it is your turn.
All right. I'm going to test the flesh of this creature, knowing that he is godly and he is hitting about as hard as I've ever seen. Taking the moment, first, I will burn a bonus action Hunter's Mark.
All right.
The Hunter's
He is
Mark.
marked.
And then I will take 2 swings. I can do that in that order, yes?
Indeed.
21 to hit?
I'm sorry, I'm blessed. My 16 would have been a minimum of 17, so I believe I save on the command.
You are correct.
Oh my god, they're not smite slots.
They're not.
I've seen Jesus.
A 21 will unfortunately miss. You see that this creature is clad in plate armor, but more than that, it is blessed.
Oh shit. 21 misses?
21 misses.
This is not disappointing me at all.
All right, well, we're going to swing again. Let's hope we get higher than a 21.
Yes.
Nope, 19.
Unfortunately, a 19 also misses. Your blade cutting through air. As it beats against this creature, it's not like the blade hits it and reverberates. It's like the blade's kinetic energy simply ceases when it comes into contact with this god. Brawl, it is your turn.
Brol sees what is happening. That gauntlet abandoned for the first time. I've had this channel divinity for ages. I've never used it for a purpose. There's been nothing sacred about Brol's path up to this point. My weapon is going to begin to glow with a prismatic light, not tyrant flame, but my own spirit manifest into a single purpose as I'm going to channel divinity's sacred weapon here, adding my charisma bonus to my 2 hit. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Divine Favor upon my... Oh, sorry, I don't have that prepared, actually. 1 second. Yeah. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Wrathful Smite upon my weapon, even knowing that he is immune to fear, that a little bit of extra psychic damage may be valuable. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Sanctuary on Adriel. And I'm going to tell the Avatar of Bane that his fight is with me.
The aspect of Bane looks at you wordlessly as it moves its way through the pillars like a serpentine. You can take an opportunity attack if you wish, Adriel, but it will break your sanctuary.
Brawl, do you want me to drop this?
Take it.
I'm willing to let...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I absolutely
I'll take
just
it.
cast that on you to get it away from you.
21, unfortunately, still missing, as you can't quite hit that number. It's going to come after you, Brawl.
Approach.
It's going to cast its own smite, as it casts a blinding smite as a bonus action.
Do I get the
And it's
attack as it
going...
moves in?
You do. A 19 will not hit.
Yes.
Wait, why is that a 1?
Wait, what? Plus
Oh,
0.
that's broken. It's plus 4, apparently.
Looks
I
like
think you added...
Scrolling over, it looks like I rolled a 4 on the bless and should have a plus 4 from the sacred weapon. I think that's a 27 to hit.
A 27 does not know. No, 27 does hit.
I
If you
shit
pierce
myself,
divine
dude.
flesh.
You can't do that. You can't say things like that.
You said 27 doesn't. I had already clicked and log out of Windows.
Yeah.
I just want you to know I'd started the rage quit, Chris. That is the most pucker I have ever heard it in the game.
That's going to be a 3rd level smite, absolutely. This creature is not considered to be a fiend or undead, I assume.
No, this is a celestial.
Oh, of course it would. He's going to be immune to fucking divine, too. I can already feel it. That's going to be a total of 46 points of damage.
It is not immune or resistant to radiant, as all of your damage. Wait, how much of that is fire?
Let me check. 13 points fire.
13 points, half to 6, as this creature does appear to be resistant to your fire. So how much is that with this reduction -7?
Give me a sec. That should be a total of 40 damage exactly.
40 damage, cutting into divine flesh. Whoops. He appears to be lightly wounded, as he is going to make a retributive strike at you.
Does he have the range? I guess he does.
He does. Oh, that would be from 10 feet away, but yes, he does have the range. As his long orcish arms come slamming into you, a 14 missing though, as it will continue to advance. It makes its Morningstar attack twice again.
And a DC 20 con save on the prismatic wall, sorry.
Prismatic wall is not concentration.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. You can cast 2 prismatic walls if you have 2 9th level slots.
Oh, fuck.
I found out that the hard way before. Luckily, you've managed to escape most of its effects. You just better hope he can't grapple you. As the 13 misses, and the 15 also misses, his Morningstar unable to find purchase against you. However, let me roll his recharge. Commanding strike recharge is as he commands you once again. I need another wisdom save.
24.
He commands you to grovel, but you do not listen. That is the end of his turn.
It's my turn. All right. Time to close some distance. I'm going to take the other side of the avatar here. I have been unlucky so far. I'm going to attempt it one more time here. I can't roll above a 3.
Oh, don't worry. We don't have to kill this guy with attacks.
24.
A 24 hits.
For the first time, I will burn a level 3 smite on this thing.
All right. 25, indeed, slashing into this creature.
And then with the bone... Oh, and I have radiant damage on that. I have the hunter's mark, so I get an extra d6.
Indeed.
And then we'll throw the haft. Of course, the haft is going to hit. Why would that be the thing that hits?
The haft hits with a 30 for 13 bludgeoning.
I think it should be 14. You only have a +2 mod on your haft there.
The hit is +3 because of bane or because of bless, right?
The hit's got a +3 because of your +3 glaive, as should the damage.
Oh. Yeah, I guess it's got to go up 1. Damage has got to go up 1, so that's 14 instead of 13.
All right. He takes the damage, almost looking bloody now. Sorry, did you have anything else, Adriel?
No, sir, that's the end of my turn.
All right, Brawl.
Claimer of dominion, sunderer of crowns, you have been your own undoing. Despite Brawl's exhaustion, Brawl is going to swoop down to this creature, and I'm going to grapple it.
All right.
27 to resist.
27. He could beat that. With a 32, he flexes his gauntleted hand as he begins to lift you instead. He does not have you grappled, but he resists your grapple.
I will continue to struggle against his strength. And
19.
real quick, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, 33. Never mind.
This creature has the strength to rival your own.
Very true. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith upon myself, and end my turn.
Right? The aspect of Bane leers down at you. You think you can steal my dominion from me? I am Dominion. As he is going to raise his Morning Star and cast a 5th level Blinding Smite. Well, hold on, let me just make sure I can upcast that. No, I can't. He'll cast a 3rd level Blinding Smite as he will bring it down. 19, that'll just hit you, Brawl.
It'll miss thanks to the Shield of Faith.
Indeed it will. And as will a 12. You can't hit him, but he cannot hit you either. Then he 5, he recharges his commanding strike again. Brawl, I need another wisdom save. A 15 is a failure as he commands you to flee.
The spark of divinity rightfully claimed flashes within Brawl's eyes. I'm going to use one of my 2 remaining Heart Killer's blessings to re-roll that save.
Alright.
25.
25. The steel of resolve washes over you. This is not your master. Cannot give you commands. Adriel, it's your turn.
Brawl's going to shout toward Adriel and say, "Put him in the wall!"
I think that means he wants me to grapple him, and I don't know I'm strong enough to do that, but we'll get spicy. I will attempt the grapple.
All right. Give me an athletics check. 21. With a natural 1, you are able to lift him, his flesh buckling as you manage to lift him off of the ground.
And then taking the suggestion from Brawl, can I push him back towards this kind of stone outcropping here?
No. The prismatic wall. The prismatic wall, bro.
Oh, the prismatic wall. Oh, okay, yeah. I will spin him. What is that? 10 feet? Max my movement out and put him right into the edge of that wall.
All right, he goes flying through the edge of the wall. You were able to push him all the way through. Unfortunately, due to the way prismatic wall works, he is immune to his own spell.
That's sad.
Worth a shot.
But you push him all the way through the wall. He can no longer see you. Actually, no, wait. It's only an inch thick, and you don't want to, push your own hands against it, so he can still see you, but he is grappled.
All right. I don't think I have anything else I can do.
You got another action or another attack.
But my attack's two-handed, so what can I hit him with?
Put him prone.
All right. Yeah, I will attempt to knock him prone then.
All right.
Is that another athletics check?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
He cannot fail that one. Anything else, Adriel?
That's the end of my turn.
All right, Brawl. He is grappled but not prone.
He's about to be. I'm gonna shove him prone.
All right.
It's 13. I'm gonna use my last usage of Heartkiller's Blessing on the lucky die to roll an additional d20, and I'm gonna take that 30.
All right. 30. Sorry, it would actually be just a 13. And you would not have advantage on this, right? You would have disadvantage because you're exhausted. Oh wait, no, sorry, I apologize. You're not exhausted. This is throughout time and space.
Oh, I'm
you
not.
do not have exhaustion.
Oh, in that case, no lucky die there.
Oh, okay, I apologize. 30. 30 he can succeed against. That's not an athletics check, but it's the same modifier of a plus 14. He is unable to resist you. He is not prone.
You will grovel before this ends. I'm going to attack with advantage.
All right. 28.
Actually, 33 and a 30.
Both of those will hit regardless.
You got it. They're smite slots now. 2 level 2 smites.
All right.
Actually, no. 1 level 2, 1 level 3. Nice. I'll give you the fire calculation 1 sec. $30 points on the first. And 34 points on the second. 64 damage total.
With 64 damage, this avatar of Bane is looking extremely damaged. He is falling apart. His divinity is cracking and crumbling.
I'm going to remain in my position and end my turn.
The aspect of Bane will attempt to escape your grapple, Adriel. A 33. Can you succeed against that?
I think you've got a plus 11, if I recall correctly.
I have a plus 11, yeah. So the highest I can roll is a 31.
You are unable to keep him from breaking out of your grapple as he pulls himself up from prone, looking at you with fury, Brawl. Adriel, it's your turn.
I will take some cuts at it. With the wounding as it is, I'm going to... Let me make sure the spell that I was thinking about... No, it's an action. All right, I will take 2 cuts at him. 20 and a 33.
A 33 will hit, a 20 will not.
We're going to take that level 3 smite. We'll cut into him.
Oh, shit.
46 damage.
46 damage. How do you want to do it, Adriel?
I don't know if you'll allow this in the moment, but I think Well, Adriel has all the fury and anger. Brawl watching this avatar climb to his feet. Adriel would charge the radiance of the glaive that he holds true, pressing it to the chest of this avatar of a god I detest, and nod to let Brawl kick the sharpened blade through his chest.
I would pause as you give me that offer. I would look toward the stricken avatar, and I would say, in true tyranny there is mercy. None that exists in your heart. Yet you need only ask, and I will grant it.
The aspect of Bane laughs as he looks at you, Brawl. You can feel the divine washing of what you assume to be the equivalent of spits as he coughs up blood on you defiantly.
I will lick the blood from my own lips and say, then perish as you have lived. I'll kick the blade through his chest and stagger backwards in astonishment.
As the blade goes straight through the chest, the god collapses to the ground. You did it, guys. You killed Bane.
Didn't take a single point of damage in the process.
You didn't.
As Bane gets back to his feet, laughing, his mythic trait is activated. He gains 450 temporary hit points. And that is where we will end the session, as you have activated his phase 2.
Baby! That's what I like to hear. Great session, Chris.
Amazing.
Yeah, hope you guys had fun. I would absolutely run phase 2 tonight, but I gotta go in like 10 minutes.
Nah, you're all good. Thanks for pushing it as
Good.
close as you did.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I can run next Thursday, and we can finish this off with a 1 to 2 hour, or more like a 1 hour fight.
How you doing on spell
I'm in.
slots, Adriel?
Pretty good, ironically.
That's good. I got 2 left.
Well, you need spell slots.
When you got all these diamonds in your hat, you certainly don't. Yeah, good show.
All right,
Next
I'll
Thursday?
see you guys later. Yeah, next Thursday.
Yeah,
Be
next
ready
Thursday,
for
I'll
a
be
tough
here.
fight.
I knew it was.
Wait, you didn't think it was that easy, right?
No, I knew it was. I knew it was too easy.
Oh man.
All right, have a good session, guys. Or not a good session. It was a good session, but have a good night, guys. I'm gonna go get ready for work.
Good luck, Chris. Talk to you soon.
Look,
All right,
Chris.
talk to you later.
Other than the hunter's mark in the, I used a misty step, a hunter's mark, and a smite.
Oh yeah, you all. I apologize. I forgot to tell you guys. You both get a level up.
Hey.
Hey.
Adventurers League rules. I'm gonna deny that level up. I need to stay in tier 2 until actually.
This isn't a day I'll go to level 11.
Yeah, I might just do that. That sounds fun.
No, I'm not asking if you want to go to 11. I'm saying go to level 11. You have advanced to level 11.
Good to know.
I'm
Does
not
that mean
asking
we get
you.
to bring more magic items next game? I kid.
Make a dexterity save, Brawl.
Oh god.
No.
I passed it.
Honestly, asking somebody to make a dexterity save isn't that horrifying. Asking somebody to make a charisma save unprompted, though.
Yeah, it is.
I really thought when this guy died, the next thing you're gonna tell me is, and showing up is a giant sturge. Bane's final form is just an oversized mosquito.
I absolutely fucking believe that.
Hold on, there's still time for me to add a phase 3 to the fight.
One giant proboscis.
All right, I got one more spell slot now. That's gonna matter. But yeah, good session, Chris. Don't be late for work.
Oh yeah, I won't be. I got 10 minutes. I'm looking for my shoes now. But also your improved divine smite, which I guess wouldn't work against Bane, but it's still good. All right, talk to you guys later.
Take care.
Later.
See ya.
Okay, so I've got a harebrained idea.
I'm listening.
I've got Zone of Truth prepared.
Yeah.
Potentially we roleplay our way out of this.
I'm listening.
Potentially we throw down a Zone of Truth and we expose the inherent hypocrisy in the nature of tyranny that Bane practices. Maybe that has some effect. Maybe that's just a waste of a spell slot.
I love it. I love the fact your brain went, I can convince a god that he's dumb. That's what I love so much.
Not even that, just maybe we can expose some weakness within his psyche.
I don't think that that's a terrible choice. Like, here's the thing. If he's 450 HP, we're going to have to keep wailing on him. I've got... The upside is I got a lot of smite slots left, so I can just keep swinging for the fucking yard, right? Like, that's just... I got Hunter's Mark on him, so he's going to keep taking bullshit damage.
You've got a haste left in you too, right?
I have 2 tier 3 spell slots now.
Yeah, the haste might be the play with how high his 2 hit bonus is.
Yep. So the next thing that's what I was considering right then. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm going to take one more swing by myself, and then I might go to haste. So I think haste is the next move. And we just turn up the burn of that next level.
I mean, between the two of us, we can do 100 damage a round average. So I think if we turn it into a slugfest, we automatically win. Like, I'm still carrying 4 potions of supreme healing. Like, we're both still full on lay on hands. I think we've got the resources just to slug it out as well.
Yeah, my response is your idea is harebrained and hilarious, so I think it's a good start. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to take more juice than Mark McGuire and start home run swinging at this thing while you continue to aggravate it and piss it off. Pushing it into the prismatic wall, I was like, because I don't even know what, like, the prismatic fog, I was like, I don't even know what the fuck it does. You like push it into it. I was like, okay. Sounds like it could do something awful. I'm about it.
It does like fucking 80 d6 damage if you go through all the layers, basically. Or like 60 d6 damage or something. Absurd. Yeah, don't get grappled into that, or it's going to get real nasty. In fact, the first thing we should do next session is take this fight the fuck away from the prismatic wall.
What do you mean? He's got 450 damage or 450 health and probably got 30 strength. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, having no countercast is not great, but so we're gonna eat it a little bit. But yeah, I think you try the diplomatic, I'll let you live, because you're being told to do dumb shit for somebody who doesn't really give a shit philosophy. And then if that doesn't work, I fire off a haste and we sprint it down.
We just blow it up. Yeah.
That's give me one more attack, and I will. You're gonna watch me go through 6 smites in 2 turns. Is what you're gonna do. If I hit every time I hit, I'm smiting. I'm just gonna keep hitting it.
Yeah, we blow this up. Oh shit! I forgot. I actually have 4 spell slots because Fey touched. I get a free cast of Misty Step once per rest.
Does your paladin have the... Where's my sheet at? you have Harness Divine Power?
I do, but I've already used my Channel Divinity to give myself the Sacred Weapon.
Oh, that's right. When do you get your second Channel Divinity? Be able to
I
use
don't
it.
think you ever get one as a Paladin. That's only for clerics.
When you expend a use of your Channel Divinity to fuel your spells, a bonus action, you touch your holy symbol. The number of times you can use this is the number of times you used it. So, since mine didn't go off, it's still used, right? Like that's how Channel Divinity works. Even if it doesn't work, you use it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I can't either. Uh, but the improved Divine Smite matters.
Yeah, it does. That'll make a big difference, actually.
We both are just gonna do an extra. What is it? D6 damage every time.
An average of fucking, what is it, 4.5, and it's a D8.
Then the other question is, rules is written. How does Hunter's Mark work on a 2-tiered fight if it's the same creature?
I think it's still the same creature. I don't think that it... If I was running it, I don't think the Hunter's Mark would be wiped from it. That'll be Chris's adjudication, though.
Yeah. That's one thing I need to ask him about, because Hunter's Mark is worth the havoc. Dude, the second that happened, I was like, I can't see out of this. I'm casting Bless. I am not. Nope. We're going to get our shit rocked. I need every dice I can get to protect myself from the incoming pain.
We might even want that Bless back up, honest. That's tough. You know, I should probably drop the Bless instead of the fucking Shield of Faith, honestly, because we need that D4 to hit, given its absurd AC.
Well, I have the Bless up. You have the
You no
Shield
longer
of
have
Faith.
the Bless up. You've got Hunter's Mark up now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can go back to the Bless.
I think it's more valuable if I go to the Bless. Well, let me think. You know, because you're going to have to be concentrating on haste.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to haste. So if I go to haste, you go to Bless, then we get the plus, and we get the speed.
Ooh,
And we just raw dog everything else.
I just remembered I never rolled my D6 of Wrathful Smite damage that I should have at some point. Alas.
Alas. Yep. We can... I'm fairly confident there was when he said there was a dragon, I was like, oh, that dragon's fucking dead. I'm gonna wear that dragon. I'm gonna see if I can make a cape out of dragon scales.
I'm a little disappointed it wasn't actually an adult white dragon for us to fight.
You and I were both so ready. I was like, oh, a dragon without wings. Oh.
This is gonna be cathartic.
I'm gonna see if we can both grapple it and then rip it in two. Just like a tug of war. And then it was a salamander. That's why I sent you that gif. I was like, God damn it.
And then war crimes.
And then you covered its children in seasoning and you said, take these trash can nachos.
I don't know. It's not enough. In my mind, it's not enough just to win this fight. We gotta humiliate this fucking god. We gotta break him.
Canonically, that's something you would do. So that's when you're like, I think we should try this. I'm fucking in. Like, Adriel's really here to be the plucky sidekick. So you wanna get a little frisky first? I'm down for the frisk. I've got one of the scrolls that is on my body. We're fine.
Yeah, I'm ready to run game on this fucking NPC.
Like, really, you've just empowered me. Like that's why I've kind of tried to stay back, because this is something that you want to do for Brawl, and I get really cool. I've got to figure out what color eyes they're going to be if we achieve this. So I was like, I'm in for like the fashion Riz. You sold me purely on fashion. Do you want to do this fashion Riz? And I was like, oh, I think I have ascended to Dungeons and Dragons where I'm like, weapons are cool, but fashion Riz is forever.
It's like, I don't know if you've ever played Dark Souls, but like, it's the exact same thing in that game. Like, if you play it long enough, you absolutely stop giving a shit about the stats on your armor, and you go for fashion souls.
And that's where I'm like, okay, the eyes smoke, and they are the color of your choosing. What color am I going? And now I'm just here to just garbage dumpster whatever's in my way to get smoking eyes. It doesn't. Like reading about it, would Adriel participate in this? Yeah, actually, probably. All things considered, all the bad things that they're doing to the countryside, like he wouldn't love that. Brawl wants to become a giant tyrant, but like, that's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah.
Level 12 isn't quite Volo yet, so you're not like wildly powerful. You're just kind of extremely powerful. So it's like,
And now this is fun for the Wednesday campaign because Adriel's met Brol.
Oh yes. The downtime after this next game is going to be so funny because Adriel's going to have so many like weird, obtuse things. Adriel has smoking eyes now. Why? What had happened?
I mean,
as long as Brawl's not Aboleth controlled, that's all I give a shit about. Like, can we make that boundary?
I mean, Brawl's immune to charm.
Okay, good.
Which is
when you said level 10 paladin, are level 10 paladins immune to something?
Yeah, level 10 paladins gain Aura of Courage, which makes you immune to fear, and everyone within your aura immune to fear. Level 7 Oath of Devotion paladins gain a similar immunity to charm.
Oh, yeah, I'm immune to fear. It's the charm that I don't get. That's the hoe shit.
Correct.
Yeah. My level 7 is the saving throws.
No, that's your level 6. Your level 7 is the one that lets you move half of your movement speed as part of an attack of opportunity.
Oh, vengeance. Yeah. That's so I was looking at that because that was the one thing about vengeance is when your aura extends or whatever. I was like, man, really getting immune to charm would be good with you as the DM. Luckily, Chris is not as effusively violent with charming people. So that's good. I am a little nervous about the second, only because like that level 9 spell came out and I went, oh, that's
Didn't I tell
bad.
you? I knew Chris was going to throw level 9 spells at us in this. I just knew it.
He's like prismatic fog, and I don't know if you heard my keyboard going click, 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 click. What the fuck is a prismatic fog? And of course it comes right up in roll 20. This is what it is. Oh no, that's bad. He didn't 8 multicolor rays. I thought he had to roll them, but I guess at level 9 it's all of them.
You might be thinking of prismatic spray versus prismatic wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna fuck this dude up. Whether we roleplay it out or whether we just resource dump it, I think we're good here. Assuming that there aren't any other terrifying aspects to his mythic form.
But Chris. His second form is gonna cast Sturges, isn't it? It's gonna be a Sturge generator.
Straight out of his mouth, like a fucking biblical plague, I'm certain.
Oh, you can dispel part of the wall. Only the violet layer.
That's right.
Not that matters. So that just ends the blinding of it. Then you're just inside and everything else. Holy shit. 10d6 fire damage, 10d6 acid damage, 10d6 lightning damage, 10d6 poison, 10d6 cold, restrained, and blinded.
Yeah, it's insane. And if you fail that blind save, if you fail a charisma save at the beginning of your next turn, you're also banished.
Typically, creatures on the plane that is not its home plane is banished home, while other creatures are cast into the ethereal plane. Excuse me?
The one good thing here is that we are in a demi-plane, so we wouldn't get banished to the ethereal, we would get banished back to the prime.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've understood in this, that if you die or banished by this Bane character, you just go back to the normal plane.
If we die, we're probably dead.
So supposedly, the way AL is supposed to be played for this module, if you die, you go back to the normal plane.
Have you read the module?
I've only seen the first 2 pages because it's on the Dungeon Masters thing. Like, because I was like, how do I fit into this story? And it has like 8. There's like 8 tiers to it or some shit. So I was like, what is it? And I looked it up, and it came off one of the things you sent me. And I was looking at it, and it says